Hey everyone, I want to welcome you to the latest Math for the Impatient. And on today's episode, we are going to be talking about the SKALE oracles, which is super exciting. So I've got with me today both Stan, our CTO and co-founder, and Dima, a super rock star engineer on our team. So I'm going to just jump into the first question. What actually is the SKALE oracle, and why is it important to add add this to SKALE version 2?
It's a great question, Marcos. So let me start by saying that when Satoshi Nakamoto invented blockchain, one thing that actually he missed or she missed was the oracle. So the blockchain, the way it was invented, is, believe it or not, is totally passive. It cannot actively do anything. In particular, it cannot actively go and read any information from internet. And it also can change things like switch a light bulb on and off. So it's totally passive, and believe it or not, even doesn't even know the current time or the current weather. There's nothing that the blockchain knows until you actually push this information into the blockchain. And people have been fixing this by adding separate networks, something which is called Oracle networks. But Oracle networks are pretty complex. They have separate tokens and have many things which make things much more complicated to use. So at SKALE, we decided to do our own Oracle because there are so many dApps, so many applications that require either to know information about the outside world, such as the weather or prices of particular stocks or tokens, or do something actively, such as maybe change, switch your light bulb on and off, or do some other things. So there's so many applications that need oracles. But we decided not only to implement an Oracle at SKALE, but to release it in our release 2. So the Oracle is actually coming, and Dima, that is present here, he's actually been working on the Oracle and coding all of the algorithms related to the Oracle.
Very cool. So, I guess that leads to the next question, which are, what are the advantages of a SKALE oracle over other oracles?
And that's a fantastic question. SKALE Oracle has 3 super important advantages that no other Oracle has. Advantage number 1, it's totally free. And not only now, but it's free forever. You don't need to own any token to actually use SKALE Oracle. In fact, you don't even have to use the SKALE network. You could potentially take SKALE Oracle as a separate product and use it with, say, Ethereum 2, or with Bitcoin, or with pretty much any other network you need to use. Basically, it's free for everyone. So being free, it's number 1. No other Oracle is free. The second super important advantage is that SKALE Oracle is totally dynamic. You can decide at any moment of time which information you need. Let's say now you need information about the current time. Next minute, you need information about the current weather. Yet another minute, you need information about what's the price of a particular token. So you can change at any time what information to retrieve. And SKALE network will actually do the entire information retrieval and actually get the information for you from the outside world. So being dynamic is advantage number 2. And advantage number 3, it is SKALE native. It's actually SKALE native to our network. So if you are using a SKALE blockchain or many SKALE blockchains, you are totally sure that SKALE Oracle works, because either the entire SKALE network is crashed or the entire thing is working. So you don't have this problem where the blockchain is working, but the Oracle, it cannot actually feed information into the blockchain. And in seeing these problems, these DeFi applications and outside oracles all through the year of 2021, when there's a particular information which is really important and needs to be pushed into the blockchain, but the Oracle is not able to communicate with the blockchain. In case of the SKALE, Oracle and blockchain is the same thing. So our Oracle is native, which makes it actually much more stable. So people can use other oracles with SKALE, but we definitely encourage to use our Oracle as a default option.
Cool. So with that, we'll take it and throw it over to you, Dima. And I guess, the next big question is going to be, let's see a demo.
Yeah, let's do a demo. And today I am preparing something for you. Let me share my screen. Yeah, so let's send some requests to the Oracle and get some valuable data. So what we have on this demo, so it is working in seconds. At first, we are calculating a POW number to protect our Oracle from DDoS attacks. So when you are sending the request, firstly, you should calculate in this POW number to prove that you do some work for sending this request. After this, you get the hash, as you can see on the screen. This is the identifier of your request on the Oracle. And when you are getting it, then you should wait for 1 second, and you can check the result of this request. So to check the result, you just need to pass this hash to our Oracle, calling another method, and then you will get, maybe at the beginning you can get these strange messages, but do not worry, it's just indicating that Oracle is handling your request, and it will be doing in second. And when the data is coming, when the request is handled, you will get the result. And as you can see, this result comes to you as JSON that contains the request that we have sent and the new information about the results and signatures. So the results, what we wanted to take, it was the Unix time and the day of the year. So the signatures are the signatures from each node. So now we are having one node as chain, and so the signature is only one. But when you will be using more chain, the bigger chain, you will get more signatures. So as a result, you will get the timestamp and the day of the year. So that's it.
Thank you very much, Dima. And again, to kind of explain to what we just shown in the simple terms, you want to get the time. The time is available from a time server. So what you do, you actually command scale nodes to go and retrieve the time from the time server for you. And you could decide how many scale nodes you want to use to retrieve time. The more scale nodes you use, the more sure you'll be that the time is correct. So basically, you can consider that your scale network is basically your employees or your guys. You're telling to your guys to go and retrieve the time from the time server, and then also attest that the time is actually correct. And that's pretty much a very simple idea of the Oracle. And in this way, you can retrieve pretty much any information from internet. In Scale version 3, we hope to add also neural networks and AI to our network. So in Scale version 3, you'll be able to read information from internet, such as news sources, and then process it using AI. So you'll be able to get more complex information that you're typically able to get by actually reading text. So that's our Oracle.
Very cool. Well, I want to thank both of you guys for coming on this time. Dima, our special guest star, we're actually showing the Oracle. And make sure and look below. You can join our Telegram group. You can join our Discord. Keep track of what's going on. Thanks a bunch, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.